the meeting to order. Sorry, I missed some of your calls. I think I ran out of minutes on my phone. There was so many calls this morning. Anyway, committee, which would you like to start with? I was thinking maybe we could start with Department for Children and Families first, if that's all right. And it is open for any of you to discuss. Senator Petty. For that.
I'd like for us to discuss enhancement in the DCF budget for $10 million to spend one-time lump sum emergency workforce recruitment and retention incentives. $10 million.
$10 million. What is it? Say again. You know what page it is? Everybody tell us what page it is.
Sorry, I'm not going to be able to tell you the pages.
Can you guys tell us pages? As these come up. Okay.
It is from the Children's Alliance of Kansas testimony. This is, okay, sorry.
All right, any questions? You want 10 million. House looks like they put in 5 million. They asked for 10 million? You give them more than what they asked?
No, it was 10 million. But we're trying to, I can't remember where it was for 2020. Sorry. 2023.
Not 2022, 2023. All right. All right, discussion. Yeah. Is that a motion? I know, I asked for discussion.
As for discussion.
Motion and a second, so. We're putting money in today, so. Second, Senator Sollentrop or not? Oh, Senator Kirshen. All right. All right, so did you have any reasoning, background, want to talk about it?
I really think that that's not the same. This is 2022 actually. 2022. Well, you know, we've continually heard about the need to maintain an employment base to be able to provide services. And it seems that if we don't look at how we can shore that up, I don't know how we're going to be able to, one, meet the needs within the agency to provide for the workforce that's necessary. So this is one-time funds that would go towards emergency workforce recruitment and retention incentives.
So one-time money.
One time.
Okay. Any other questions for Senator Petty? Senator Sollentrop.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We're going to go through some significant budgets, and I think we're in a little bit of unprecedented times. We've got inflation that's ramped up to probably somewhere in the neighborhood of worse than 40 years. We've got pay scales that are demanding significant adjustments. So I want to get a couple of those things out of the way early. We're going to make recommendations this afternoon to adjust these budgets. But I don't think we're going to complete them to the extent and detail and depth that we need to, that we can't have these things re-examined at omnibus. So I just want to tell you that I'm going to make a request at the end that this is all subject to review. We'll get through these motions, we'll make them all, we'll approve them all, we'll throw them in the pot. But to me, it's all open for discussion. So again, I just wanted to clear that little issue up early on. Thank you for your indulgence.
Why don't we go ahead and make our list, and then we can go back and decide what should go to omnibus and what should go to the mega budget.
Could do it that way too.
Sarah Kirshen, did you have something? Well, everybody in favor of this? Are we ready to go? Everybody's in favor. Okay. Next item.
I'm on Department of Children and Families. $125,000 for purchasing medical equipment for cerebral palsy research center. That would be a continuation of that. Now, here we go. Back on DCF, I said that allocation of $125,000 for purchasing and providing medical equipment for the Cerebral Palsy Research Center, that would be continuing that on. And then in addition to that, under the Safe Families Adoption, take that $500,000 and make a $500 addition to the grant they already received through DCF. So those two items is all I have for now.
Motion, second. Second, Petty. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, aye. Opposed, no. Okay. Next item. Sarah Petty.
Madam Chair, I did go through these budgets, but I may have mixed some things up. Is the senior nutrition program under DCF? Or, no, okay, so forget that for the moment. The Enhancement Communications Access Services for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing, there was 2 FTE positions at $158,531.
That's, what'd you call that, deaf and hard of hearing?
Their Communications Access Services.
Communications. Number?
It's actually on page 1064.
No, what was the amount?
Oh, I'm sorry. 158,531
For?
for it'll be 2 FTE positions.
Okay. And they currently, I don't know whether they have much staff.
They currently do, but they haven't been able to, well, maybe I should look on the page.
Did you say it was 10?
1064. It would add 2 positions within the Kansas Commission for the Deaf and the Hard of Hearing. So this would help them to provide access to services, interpretation services for departments when they need to have that, have a resource to go to know where to find those.
They do it now without any FTE.
Well, I think they're doing it. They just have had they have had a lot of demand for those services and haven't been able to provide the information. They are here to answer that question.
Somebody from the agency, please come forward. Yeah,
You need the mic, though.
yeah. There you go. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you. I'm Robert Cooper. I'm the Executive Director for the Kansas Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. Previously, or currently, we have 2 FTE, myself and my administrative assistant. So we are maxed out. Historically, KCDHH has had several staff that would include roles such as these requested, as a coordinator for communication access services, and then an additional FTE to provide technical assistance. That was cut back in 2001. And we, at that time, shifted the responsibility to agencies, and then they could contact us if they needed additional resources. That appeared to be working, but we've noticed over the years that services have diminished in quality. And at this time, many state agencies don't know what to do in terms of how to coordinate interpreting services. They're all calling from the same list. So if you imagine 10 different state agencies all needing interpreters for different various appointments and whatnot on Monday. And each agency is calling, they're doing the same thing. They're duplicating each other, and they don't know that one another has called, and so they are calling the same interpreters. So if that interpreter has become booked or not, it becomes a very inefficient means. If we have a centralized coordination services, then that person knows who's available, who's not. They can save time in securing interpreting services, as well as they know what the deaf consumer's preferences are in terms of languages, so they can make substitutions or rearrange the schedule as needed in order to save time and provide quality services. And so it's a means to become more efficient and save the burden. And right now, my administrative assistant is already working full-time on other duties, and so that's why we are asking for these enhancement dollars for these positions. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Any questions? I think that said it all. Thank you. All right. Motion? Second? Second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Next item. Foster, here's the Foster U. Okay, I have an item. We had a 2-day interim last fall on child support services, and I don't believe we were all the way able to. Child enforcement? Child enforcement support services. And I don't believe that we ever really got to the bottom of the issue. So I'm going to propose that we make a suggestion that post-audit looks at child enforcement services. so that we can make sure the providers are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. But also, we have a bifurcated system that also includes the court services as well, and we need to try to figure out the best way to go. Kansas is very unique and different, so I'll work with Charday about language to have that ready for when we come to the whole committee. But I am supporting a post-audit of child enforcement support services. Well, I just request. So for 2022, but if it misses the list, it'll be for 2023.
Madam Chair, didn't that request come for an audit come out
It
of?
came out of the committee as well. They were supposed to, I mean, I don't know if there is an update out there, Madam Secretary. I think at the end of that too was a report from all of you, and I don't know where you're at on that. Okay. All right. Thank you. So I make a motion to do the,
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
you got to repeat it.
Yeah, Laura Howard, Secretary for DCF. I was responding that after the committee, during the interim, we did respond back to some of those requests for additional information. Would be happy to provide that back to this committee. Then I also am stating that I'm not opposed to a legislative post-audit to look more broadly at the system.
So I'll make that motion. Somebody want a second by Senator Kirshen? Discussion, seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Okay. Anything else on DCF? So see, they already, they put in.
Well, I'm going to start off with something I tried to start with a little bit ago, and that was the senior nutrition providers, an additional $3.5 million. That's be for Meals on Wheels. 3.5. They haven't had an increase since 2009, and well, we got it. They provided a figure for the number of meals per day in Wichita. That was 850 to 900.
So if that was a motion, I make a second. On that, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Any other items? It's like the House added quite a bit on their side. Senator Petty.
We had a lot of discussion about the rate of being paid of 43 hours and that of wanting that to go to $47 an hour.
For the TA.
Yeah, for the TA. I don't, I have a figure down here, but then I got information that I think that this is too high. I had a figure of 9.4, but some of that money is already included in the governor's budget. So I'm not, I think that figure might be high. Can anybody clarify for me?
Matthew?
Madam Chair, members of the committee, so the number that I have that would increase the T1000 code for both the TA and the IDD waiver is 7.7 million all funds and 3.1 million SGF.
So, Madam Chair, that would be to raise the rate to $47 an hour.
It's 1.7?
It's 3.1 million. Isn't that what you said, Matthew?
Okay, it says 1.7. Okay.
I think that's what.
But that's what the governor did. That's what the governor did. Recommends that. But this is to get us to 47. Is that correct, Matthew?
So included in the governor's recommendation was the allocation to raise the IDD T1000 code to 43, which was the same that was added last year for the TA waiver. So that amount that's in the governor's recommendation is just to bring the IDD to the same rate as the TA, which is 43.
Not to the 47.
Yes, not to the 47.
This is to bring them to the 47.
But then they're higher than the other?
No, I think would bring both of them. Is that correct? To bring both?
Yeah, the 7.7 all funds, 3.1 SGF that I mentioned is for both the IDD and the TA waiver.
Is that what you're wanting?
Correct.
I have a motion. Second by Senator Kirshen. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Senator Petty.
All right, this would be, it's Foster, Adopt, Connect, and this would increase their ability to provide services to 40 new kids. They're asking, they would be still getting grant, but they're asking for a $500,000 enhancement. It actually, from the information that they provided, it can show with those 40 new kids, it could show a $2 million savings, as I figured out, because they said cost savings of $51,000 for diversion from PRTF per child. This is Foster, Adopt, Connect. They have a facility, they do have a facility in Wyandotte County. I had visited it.
or is it here?
No, the $500,000 would be above the grant that they already get. Kind of like with the Safe Family, we're doing 500,000, we've just approved 500,000 for the Safe Families above the grant that they're currently getting. Yeah, the motion. Sure. The motion is to, of a $500,000 to Foster Adopt Connect. This would be above the grant that they already received.
We had a motion and a second and discussion, and it passed, so that is on our list. Any other items? Or Solentrop?
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the KDAD's budget, provide funding, $500,000 for the Foster Adopt Connect program.
That's what we just did.
Sorry, I had my notes here on another issue, so I was not listening. My fault.
Sorry. You ready for another item, or are you're waiting? I'll just go ahead and go then. I've asked the agency to help with a proviso to have language regarding regional beds. $15 million worth of regional beds that would eventually be approved by State Finance Council, and that the Secretary will report to them on the process for a location selection, cost sharing for this regional facility, and Sedgwick County shall conduct an assessment of the regional bed needs for involuntary commitment and forensic beds in Sedgwick County, and provide a study to the Secretary and the State Finance Council. That study shall assess staffing impact of opening a new 50-bed facility on the Health and Human Services sector of that region. And it also, I'm adding to this that this study will be paid by the department, KDADS, but it will be a cost share with Sedgwick County. So KDADS would pay 80% of this study, and Sedgwick County would pay for the other 20%. And my purpose for doing this is because we've talked about this for a long time, and we need to move this ball forward when we're talking about all the people from the largest city in the state driving 3 hours one way or another to get services for their family or friends. So I have a second that was my motion, and I have a second by Senator Solentrop. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Yes?
I just had a question. So the 15 million, so is there going to be a study to consider that the 80/20 cost of the study would come first to okay.
This needs polished up a little bit, but it's to move the it's to move the study forward, and that Sedgwick County will pay for 20% of that study to decide the need for Sedgwick County to have regional mental health beds. Okay. All right, other items. Senator Solentrop.
Take a minute, Chair. I'd move that we add 5 million in SGF to the KDAD's budget to increase the Medicaid behavioral health rate reimbursement by 4%. Again, that'll be subject to discussion at an omnibus, but approximately 4%.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. All right, motion carries. Next item.
I had that on my list also, but I was
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. All right. So due to Senator Petty making the waters a little muddy, I would make a motion to increase the 30% to the HCBS IDD waiver reimbursement rates to the 30%, but does not include the T1000 code. And Matthew will clean that up before we bring that to the full committee. We're trying to keep this separate from this so that we don't have continuation. Do you want to add to that?
And what is the amount?
Well, all funds, well, state funds would be 58,500,000. So I'll make that motion.
Second it since I made the waters.
We'll have to clean this up, but we'll have it cleaned by Friday. So, did you have questions, Senator Kirshen? That's the SGF fund. Total, or the federal would be 87 bring in, and then the total would be 146 million. Yes.
Okay.
It's Interhab and Starkey and all the other facilities that provide those services. Thereabouts, I think. Just trying to get to Amazon, Walmart rate. Okay, any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Anything else? I think they can find some pocket change somewhere. Okay. Right. I'll hand it off to you, Senator Petty. Senator Petty.
All right. I'm going to make a recommendation that we include 26.2 million FGF to provide for a full rebase of the nursing facilities daily Medicaid rate for FY 2023. It would match what the House had put in their social service budget,
Which is the 26.
26.2.
I'll second. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. I know there was additional requests for PRTF staffing at 4 million, and I would make a motion to put in 2 million for additional staffing for PRTF. You want a second? You can second, and then I'll tell you what I did.
Second, tell me what you did.
All right, I put half the money that they was requested for PRTF, and it provides funding for 6 facilities. So you want to give me a second? 2 million.
2 million?
Yeah.
Second.
Discussion, seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, no, motion carries. All right, anything else? Did you guys do?
I'll make a
Senator Petty.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I would make a recommendation that we review at omnibus the funding for the 988 centers.
Okay. Second. And that is because there's a bill out there and we can see what the status is by omnibus. Okay. Anything else? All right, seeing none, let's just go back over this list. Children and families, we have one-time money for the Children Alliance, 10 million, 23. Did the House do anything? They added 5 million? That's right, that's right. House added 5, I remember that. Do we want that in the mega or do we want that in omnibus? All of theirs, are theirs, the House's positions all in the mega? Yes, you're putting in 10, the House put in 5. Theirs is in the mega. Mega? Mega. Cerebral palsy. Senator Kirshen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the request for $125,000 for equipment for cerebral palsy foundation, we want to suggest, move it to say that's a proviso in the budget for that amount of money. I make that a motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Senator Petty.
Senator Kirshen, wasn't it also a request that there be clarification as to who should administer that program? So, Madam Chair, could we include with that, in that equipment proviso, that clarification of the legislative intent for who should be administrating this equipment program for CPRFT? That was a question. Well, that's a question that was raised by the Cerebral Palsy Research Foundation, as that there seems to be some lack of clarification of who administers this program, this funding. Yeah.
Who wants to speak to that? Agency or, okay.
Secretary?
Madam Chair, Laura Howard, Secretary for DCF. Currently, DCF has grant funding with CPRF to administer this program. I believe the concern that they have raised to the committees is concern about whether or not we would be able to continue and would get approval through the state procurement process to continue to do sole source contracting with them. It would be our preference to continue with them. They provide lots of cost matching to it, and we get added benefit and gains to that. But that's the reason for their request to the legislature. So again, it's not new money. They're requesting a proviso to continue that.
So that's your proviso. Yeah. Okay. All right, we're good. Deaf and hard of hearing, 2 FTEs. They were cut in 2001. Mega. See where it goes. Child support services, post audit, we all agreed on that. And now on KDADs, that's all I had. Yes. Which one goes good? So 500,000 for safe families. Everybody agree on that? Okay. Omnibus? Mega. You know, omnibus. Omnibus. You know, we'll get another crack at this when we package the budget. Okay. KDADs have Meals on Wheels 3.5. Did the House do anything? They did not. Let's put that in for Mega then, just for negotiation fun. TA and IDD waiver to $47. How about omnibus on that one? Because we have the other one. I mean, figure out how to work it out. Or not. Yeah. What do you want? On,
Madam Chair,
yes.
and when you say at omnibus, you mean review at
To
omnibus,
be reviewed at omnibus. That's what we mean.
but not add the funding now, review the addition of
Correct.
funding at omnibus.
Correct. Being invaded. Okay. Foster, Adopt, Connect, 500,000. Omnibus, Mega. Is that a new program? Not new. It's up to you guys. Omnibus. Yeah, so the proviso language for mental health hospital study in Sedgwick County, or at least the Sedgwick County region. I would put that in Mega so that it can start getting discussed. 5 million KDAD's mental health. Is that the mini grants or just? It's the 4%. And is that the one, Gene, you had language on, Senator? Okay, with language from Senator Solentrop. I have 5 million KDAD's mental health. Is that the mini grants? No, I just said that one, sorry. Move on to, what's your omnibus? Okay. 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 And then the CC at 4.8 for the mini grants. Is that's extra or over? No.
So, Madam Chair, you know, we passed legislation last year for the certified community behavioral health centers, and in order for those to be able to go through that process and do the work that's necessary, that's what these grants are for. So that's what that money would be used for. So,
Okay.
because they have a 2-year time period that this would be. So I would suggest we do this in.
Mega. 30% IDD waiver with the adjustments of the petty amendment, the T1000. Is that correct? Omnibus? Omnibus. Nursing homes, 26.2. Omnibus? And I want more information on the closures of the nursing homes. I want to know the 2-year history. I want to go back before, the year before COVID, and then from there. And I'd like to have that for Friday, and then we can make a final decision as, I mean, we're going to put it omnibus now, but I may request it to change. And then 2 million of the additional PRTF omnibus. Anything else? Oh, oh yeah, I have it on the wrong page. Yes, so review funding of the 988 money at omnibus. All right. Last chance. I think we spent a lot already. The adding machine's going to run out of ink. Okay, well, I don't see any other requests, so we'll have Matthew write that up and we'll have it on Friday. And-
Chair?
Yes?
You need to, you'll need to pass the budgets out as amended.
Somebody want to give me a motion to pass the budget as amended?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we pass out the DCF and, Department of Children and Families and the Department for Aging and Disabilities Services budgets as amended.
Motion? Second by Senator Kirshen. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you all for your help and work on this. We'll see how it goes on Friday.